4 years ago, I had to conduct 1,000 interviews in Asia, in the Middle East, to recruit 200 people for a new glass factory in the United Arab Emirates. In Chennai, in India, I interviewed a young guy that I'm never going to forget. His name was Ramesh. He was my age, and he was asking me for a job. After 2 minutes of interview, I could see sparks in his eyes. I could feel he was smart and witty. But he was not the right fit for the position I was recruiting for. I felt that he was clever, but I couldn't grasp what his talents were. And sadly, he didn't either. His talents were invisible to him. And for that reason, he was himself invisible to the world of work. I couldn't select him, and his dreams of financing the education of his 3 kids by going to work abroad were gone. On my side, I continued weeks to travel India, looking for candidates who fitted the position. Ramesh and I both liked and respected each other, and we both went away with a feeling of frustration. Recruitment is the art of finding the right person for the right job. I knew I had found the right person, but it was impossible to know what would have been the right job for him. 4 years later, in 2017, artificial intelligence and robots are starting to replace hundreds of thousands of jobs. At the same time, new jobs requiring new skills are starting to appear faster and faster. And people will need to adapt, but they don't know how to prepare for those jobs. What to learn, how to learn, what for, which company, where, when. And recruiters are desperate as well. How will you find your next client success research analyst? How will you find your next senior customer relationship evangelist? Will it be thanks to a one-page job description talking about crystal clear concepts like adaptability, empathy, synchronicity, ingenuity? Really? Seriously? And where on earth will you find that super specific profile? We have a dream and we have a plan. A cool plan that we call Chance. In partnership with visionary companies, we actually believe that if artificial intelligence and robots are destroying millions of jobs, we can create, with the same artificial intelligence and robots, build more careers than they will actually have destroyed in the same period. Here is an example from last month. Donald, here, is a refugee from Haiti. He just arrived in São Paulo in Brazil. He contacted Chance on Facebook and had access for free to a partly robotized, partly human coaching. It helped him learn about himself, discover his talents, make progress on specific skills that made sense to him, and had a great time. Before the existence of Chance, the talents of this Donald were invisible, and he was himself invisible to the world of work. There were almost no data about Donald. Our coaching process generated thousands of points of data about Donald, about his abilities, about how he learns, about how he makes progress. And all of that allowed us to design his data behavioral profile. In parallel to Donald's coaching at Accor Hotels in Brazil, Chance, here at Accor, succeeded in grasping thousands of data points through a selected group of top performers, managers, future managers, who all enjoyed mini activities online, like games and group chats. All those data, allowed Chance to create the data behavioral profile of all the operational positions they were looking for. Donald matched perfectly one new position at a new concept of coffee shop in São Paulo. So the Chance robot told the head of HR of Accor, Jacinta, even if Donald had never studied hospitality, neither worked in a coffee shop before, I can assure you that he will perform better than your average employee. She interviewed Donald and recruited him. Tailor-made headhunting service. And this was just the start for Donald. He learned what he was capable of, and now he will continue to be coached for the rest of his life. to prepare for his next steps in his career. And imagine, if we manage to find the right career path for one Donald, we may also find an appropriate position for the other Donald, the one in Washington. In the short term, Donald wanted the right job and got it. Accor wanted the right person and got it. Just like them, several other talents and several other companies are doing so. And just through this process that I've explained, they're all generating millions of data. This data trains the artificial intelligence, which then becomes exponentially better at embracing the complexity of a new job position and exponentially better at coaching each type of individual. So without even noticing it, the invisible talents, along with the corporate world and the artificial intelligence, are becoming together the largest contributor ever to human development. You remember Ramesh? Well, in 10 years, his 3 children won't have to go through the same experience as their father. No matter how poor they are, we will be able to recognize and develop their talents. They won't be invisible anymore. Thank you.